All right, guys. So I will be walking us through a little truncated version of our deck, but we are a company called Persona Music, and we are currently raising our seed round, and I look forward to telling you all a little bit about it. So, Persona Music, powering the soundtrack for the next generation of content creators. So, as we probably all know and have realized, the digital world is ruled by video content. What does this entail? There's 20 million content creators making money from digital video on the internet every year. 1 billion hours of video watched every single day on YouTube alone, and 500 hours of video content uploaded to YouTube every minute. This is the dominant media format in the world, and all of this video needs a soundtrack. So the core problem that we're seeing here is the music licensing and publishing industry is not built to support digital content creators. What does this mean? It means that their business model does not have the flexibility to create the economic opportunities that the key players of the digital content economy demand in the companies they work with and in the assets they endorse. And the music licensing and publishing industry doesn't have the infrastructure to accommodate the low cost, quick turn, high volume market of the digital content economy. Meanwhile, you have billions of dollars in music catalogs changing hands every quarter. And all of these investors are chasing around these songs and catalogs like these golden goose eggs, but they think nothing of the machinery that is involved in making these songs relevant and creating value and cultural relevance beyond just a low-level hum of streaming revenue and radio play. So what we've identified is that there's no existing platform in this space that's serving the three key players who drive this economy. So we've identified those three players as the superstars, the musicians, and the makers. So the superstars are the world's top influencers, YouTube channels, but also the editors and filmmakers. The musicians are the world's most talented musicians and the copyright owners of these assets. And the makers are the 20 million creators who upload video content to the internet every day. So with the superstars, we've noticed a huge challenge here. These people have no knowledge of the music industry. They expose people to new music every day. This music gets tens of millions of streams, and they have no way to tap into it. In traditional media, Mark Burnett, the producer, Survivor, Shark Tank, he owns the publishing rights on all the music that he uses in his television shows. So when Survivor or Shark Tank airs, every time you hear music, Mark Burnett is making money. Why isn't Logan Paul doing that, for instance? For the musicians have been historically devalued by music publishing industry, and they have no scalable way to cross-promote or revenue share with superstars, or the makers for that matter, under equitable deal terms. And then we have the makers. And these are all the content creators who need music for their video content that is inspiring, priced affordably, copyright cleared, but also curated. No one wants to go through a 200,000 track music library looking for the right, production music track or, R&B song for their video. So what Persona is striving to do and angling to do is be a talent-first music licensing platform that's built for the content creator economy from the ground up. So what does this mean? For the superstars, we provide them turnkey infrastructure to become music publishing moguls. We curate, acquire, and grant co-publishing rights of music catalogs to these superstars, and in exchange, they promote their catalogs to the general public for listening and sharing, but they also promote the Persona platform where all of the makers come to license music for their videos. For the musicians, we provide the musicians and copyright owners access to superstars and makers of distribution channels. We create a new stream of revenue for them via the Persona platform royalty, which is directly correlated to our subscription revenue from our makers to use our platform. And they also benefit from the revenue amplification when this music has extended distribution through the channels of the superstars and the makers. And then finally, for the makers, we provide for them a world-class music library in a SaaS format that's curated and promoted by the superstars they emulate. So the music is sourced from the highest caliber musicians on earth, and it's all for one affordable price a year, $200 a year. You get unlimited access and unlimited usage of all the music on the platform. And what we do is we weave the superstars of this content economy, and that means the influencers all the way to the editors, directly into our platform, and also directly into the distribution channels of the music catalog that we represent. We have music sourced from some of the best musicians in the world, from Hall and Oates and Jackson 5 to Duck, the same music that was in Duck Dynasty and Kim Kardashian, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Um, and we couple each of these superstar playlists that we develop with master classes. So when Logan Paul has his 130 track playlist that has music ranging from, background country banjo music to, classical music to artist driven EDM, that all encompasses his brand and his way of storytelling and his genre video. He also provides an hour and a half long masterclass teaching you how he improvises, how he, views basically structure and form and storytelling within, a YouTube vlog, which honestly is an art in itself. So within that, I wanted to do a truncated version of this. So I think it's important just to skip straight to the business model at play. So we kind of break it up into a today and tomorrow. Today, we're focused on micro licensing, SaaS licensing of music. It's an incredible market that's growing exponentially. You have 1.2 million people buying 2 to 3 music licensing solutions a year, and a market that's just growing at 20% year over year in terms of the influencer economy, and it's all driven by this video content, and all that video content at the heart of it is audio. So it's a $200 a year subscription, all rights included, and upsells for special effects, as well as for broadcast television production companies. We do a per episode fee rather than a blanket fee. Where it gets interesting, though, is tomorrow. And that is what Persona is about. We're about music asset management in the digital content age. Like we said earlier, all these catalogs, they're buying up all these assets, but they're not thinking about what it takes to make these assets actually make them substantial revenue. If you ask Brian May from Queen, he would say it takes a blockbuster movie, an American Idol integration, several greatest hits compilations, and world tours. No one who's buying these catalogs is thinking about that. So when we sign deals with our influencers, we also gain the rights to their entire musical identity. We are the administrators and custodians of their streaming playlists on the DSPs from Spotify to YouTube and beyond. We have ability to market them to television shows in exchange for cross promotion, as well as using that music that they own a piece of on the show, or just using that music on the show by default. If their music gets chosen, then they will participate in that revenue stream. And then we can also facilitate partnerships that cross promotion between musicians, record labels, publishers, and our influencers. So, we're ostensibly turning influencers and these digital superstars, who are the largest distribution channels in the world and largest, purveyors of audience that is engaged, and we're allowing them to turn their platforms into music publishing powerhouses, not unlike Nike allowed someone like Michael Jordan to become a shoe mogul. They gave him all the infrastructure to do that. They say, Michael Jordan, keep playing basketball and you're going to sell a lot of shoes. We say, Logan Paul, hey, you want to be a music publishing mogul? You keep being Logan, and we're going to position you with the right assets and distribution channels for you to make exponential earnings from music royalties that your fans pretty much are the ones driving. So, we can glance over the market. As we've talked about, there's 50 million people uploading to the internet daily. 20 million of them are making money with that video content, and 1.2 million of them are paying for music every year. Let me just get in here. And, we're off to a fast start here. And just to wrap this up, we're currently raising money to complete our web application. We've completed the front end. We have our tech team hired. We got some really heavy hitters on here. Our CTO, or rather our chief technical advisor, is Ty Roberts, who is the COO of Universal Music Group and the founder of Grace Note, which is acquired by Nielsen. Our head of technology, the guy named Stephen Elliott. He founded a company called RAI, which is the metadata backbone for Spotify and Apple Music. And our lead engineer, Tom Griffey, also built out the entire back end for STEM, which is one of the preeminent music distributors and royalty collection companies in the world. We have an amazing list of strategic partners, ranging from Logan Paul to Epic Rap Battles of History, Mike Malak, New Rock Stars, George Janko. Between the channels that we currently have signed on as talent, we're doing a couple 100 million social impressions a month, and views at that. And then as we talked about the catalog, top tier music spanning, production music to artist driven music, and then licensing deals. We've done a few seasons of a show called Chasing the Crown on Amazon over the last year while we've been really heads down on the biz dev. We put together that deal with Amazon. So we've been providing music for some of their television shows, and our library is available for all of their shows. So we've talked about what we've accomplished, why we're raising capital. We got to complete the content management system for the Persona backend of the site, meaning how all the royalties get paid out, make sure the metadata is clean, make sure the metadata is clean before we send it off to the collection agencies, the PROs, the DSPs, digital service providers, I mean Spotify, Apple Music, etc. We want to continue with strategic acquisition of music assets. Got a few key hires we have to make, and then with this capital, we will also be launching the platform, including our beta launch to our test group, but also our public launch. And our intention is to use this capital to then execute on our paid media strategy, which is built to accompany the organic influencer outreach that we're going to have at the outset of our launch. Just to go over the team real quick before I wrap up, got myself, Julian Menken. I've written music for television for about 9 years, shows ranging from Pawn Stars to, scripted shows on places like Showtime, like Shameless and Vice. Co-founder Danny Zappin. He was the founder and CEO of Maker Studios, first real multi-channel network on YouTube. They were acquired by Disney for about $850 million. The rest of the suite is just great friends, people with backgrounds that really help push Persona forward. A few guys on here, Jeff Levin, he's the manager for Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Hayden Smith is Logan Paul's editor, and he is our director of education, but also a product specialist. And we got Bradley Chapman, who is toured all over the world with Billie Eilish, A$AP Rocky, Denzel Curry, and is our head of artist relations. And finally, going to our advisor group, to name a few of them, we got Logan on there, Logan Paul, infamous YouTuber, also boxer, fighting Floyd Mayweather in a couple months. Ty Roberts, CTO of Universal, former CTO, and Eric Galen. Eric Galen is incredible. He's the legal counsel over at Raisin Space with Scooter Braun and that team, and great help to us. And just a great team of individuals. It goes a bit deeper than this deck. This isn't necessarily updated for the team, but if in the breakout rooms anyone has questions about some of the individuals involved, we've really put together an incredible board of advisors and A&Rs in order to help get this thing pushing. And yeah, we're raising 1.5 million in seed funding. We're doing that on 8 million pre-money. And we currently have a convertible note open at a 6 million cap with a 20% discount for 150,000. That is currently about 125,000 of that is spoken for, and we're just sort of filling out that last 25K with strategic checks from angels and strategic funds. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time, and thank you.